I have been the chief for just over 2 years, but I'm 17 years on the department. I have Officer Marhefka with me here tonight. He's in the back. Myself and him will be available afterwards if you have questions. A lot of times people don't want to ask them publicly. Come see either him or I. John is very dedicated to the safety and health of the kids. He's an 18-year DARE officer, a former DARE Officer of the Year recipient. That's a statewide award he got selected for. He's with the kids at this point in his career, and if any of you have kids that are seniors now, he would have been with your kids since they were in kindergarten, to give you an idea of his scope and reach in the school. So he's here as well. I know a lot of you probably know him maybe the best out of all the officers because of his roles with the school. But again, okay, 2.5 years I've been the chief. Unfortunately, I came into being the chief just as all this violence has been getting revved up in our schools, and it seems to be getting worse and worse every year. I don't know if you caught the news reports, but out on the West Coast, even before school started, they had arrested 2 students with plans of coming to school and harming 4 faculty members and taking care of as many kids as they could. Though we have a very safe community, a very safe school, we have to prepare. And it's my job to keep the police department prepared for anything that we may encounter in a day's time. We come to work every day hoping it's just a slow, lazy day, you know, an uneventful day. But every day we come to work, we know that in a moment's time, we can get thrust into anything. And like I said, unfortunately in this country, it seems like more and more police departments and schools are being asked to face the ultimate in critical incidents. So, coming into my job, I met with Superintendent Wagner and Assistant Superintendent Connor and their administrative staff of all the buildings and all the faculties, and we have built a very strong relationship, as Dr. Boylan said, and I believe that relationship is building with everything we do. At this point, when I see them, I look at them more as friends than just as somebody that I'm dealing with on a professional level. You know, we interact more and more as friends, and that's good because ultimately we have to collaborate and do our jobs well to keep your kids as safe as possible. And tonight, I like to say we have a partnership, and tonight, you the parents are going to be extended into that partnership, and I'll explain. Because you will have to fulfill a very difficult role if there is a critical incident at school. I will have my hands full with more than you could have ever imagined if that would be the case, as will my officers, as will all the officers, fire, EMS, ambulance services coming in to assist us. The faculty and administration will have their hands full. But in my opinion, though our jobs are tough, I do believe that the group sitting in front of me has the hardest job, as I explain this tonight. And what I mean by that is I need your patience and restraint. Whenever your most precious thing in the world, you want nothing more to get to them, I need you to have some patience and restraint to allow us to do our job. We have a plan set up to respond, to take care of anything that we have to take care of. With that being said, no matter what plan we put in paper and practice and drill, which by the way we've been in these schools drilling for years now, a couple years now. But no matter what I do, there will always be variables that we have to deal with on the fly, just like your jobs. You got to work every day, I'm sure, with a plan of what you're going to do for the day, and it always gets screwed up because you got people coming in, you got this, that. You know, so the same thing applies here. So again, I need, what could really screw that up would be your response to this school. If you think if the incident is here and you respond to the school, I'll explain to you how that is not the thing to do as we get into this. Okay. This program was set up for all 4 buildings, so we're going to skip through Bon Air and Stewart, and we're going to go to the high school, Burrell Senior High School. Here we are. We're sitting on Burrell Senior High School. We're in the auditorium right now, the dome. Forgive me for walking around and bouncing it around. But the problem with Burrell Senior, tactically speaking, or for me to get police and ambulance services in here to help kids when they need them, Burrell Senior High School has an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time in the way we can get in here. It is very limited in the access of this building. We have Puckety Church Road that we can come into from either side. We have the bypass. I need to be able to get police cars and ambulances in here if that happens. And what do you think I'm going to do if I have 200 parent cars coming in here? Do you think I can get the ambulances in here? If your child is one that is in need, you can clog that up so bad. that I won't be able to get them in here to help them. Let me show you what our plan for this school district entails if there's something here. I'm going to put this up. I'm not going to very much explain it, but when I show the graphic, what I want you to look at is all the little yellow markers on here. This is all things that I think to be critical that I have to take care of just on the physical ability to lock the region down so I can effectively come help our kids. And I say our kids because one of the points I want to make is if there is a problem here at this school, will you leave work to come to your kids? I would assume everybody here will leave work, right? You will leave work to come for your children, correct? Am I wrong? Well, I would want to do that as well, but I can't do that because I'm here taking care of our kids. So I have children and nephews in the Burrell School District amongst various buildings, and I would want nothing more than to go make sure my kid is okay. But I won't be able to do that because I have to make sure our kids are being helped. So when I ask you to show restraint, I have to do the same thing as a father. So I'm not asking you to do anything that I myself will not be mentally dealing with at the time. So just please keep that in mind as we go through. But I have to shut all these points of access down. I have to shut it down with as many police vehicles as I can, and if I don't have police vehicles, I'll shut it down with fire vehicles. I'll shut it down with city dump trucks if I had to, and I would maybe put the call out to Scott if I had to do that. There have been instances in this country where public works were used. At Franklin Regional, public works trucks were used. But at this point, I have a plan to shut everything down, which means you can't get in here, which means if you try to come here, we would stop you from coming in, again, because I can't have the bypass lining up with parents' cars, Puckety Church lining up to the back side of Puckety Church, and even the Dust Bowl. We'll have people up there to stop people from coming around because I have to be able to get emergency services in here. Some of the people in this country that were the worst at clogging up access to schools in these critical incidents were the people that drive the Crown Victorias themselves. Everybody knows what a Crown Victoria is? It's a police car, okay? This is a picture from Sandy Hook. I wouldn't show it at the elementary school levels because of the amount of small children that were in the school, but these are all emergency responders and police vehicles that came in and made it so you couldn't get in. There's Crown Victorias there in that picture. That's a Crown Victoria. That's a police vehicle. That's an ambulance that can't get into the scene. That is a medic unit pushing a gurney in from that ambulance, having to walk because they can't get in. With all this in mind and the lessons being learned, we go to seminars, we go to case studies on these. What I mean by that is law enforcement is invited to come to case studies where I've heard the men talk that had to go into Sandy Hook. I was there in Franklin Regional. I took part in that, as well did Sergeant Dale, Detective Galvanic of our department. So I'm speaking from experience and I'm speaking from training both. We need to keep access open. That's Sandy Hook. That's the fire department off of Sandy Hook. You can just see how it gets so convoluted and crowded that it's like New York City. It's gridlock. You can't get through. So for that reason, we have developed a plan, and tonight, like I said, we extend the partnership of that plan to you, the parents. We will need you to go to what is a pre-designated area that we call the reunification site. For the Burrell High School, and if any of you are here because you missed the elementary school, and you have kids in the elementary school, we'll cover that. The reunification site for the Burrell High School will ultimately be Bon Air School. Your children will be bused to Bon Air School. If you come to the Burrell High School, you will be stopped from coming in by police. And it's just the way we have to do it, or fire. And if you try to push past them, and I don't want to dwell on this because trust me, I need your help in this, we will stop you, okay? However, what we will do, the reason we're bringing you out tonight is because I don't want to have, and when I was talking to the mayor about this, what we don't want to have is on-the-job training. If I did not prepare my police department and the administration here did not prepare their faculty and we didn't get together and drill and prepare for what could happen, though I don't think it will happen, I don't have that luxury as a police officer, and damn sure not as a police chief. I have to prepare. Like that's going to happen this year, tomorrow, this week. Be always ready. So, in doing that, I don't want on-the-job training. Well, I don't want on-the-job training for you either. I want you to know this. I want you to talk to parents that you're in your circle of friends that aren't here tonight and tell them that. I want you to take the blue Parent Safety Night guide that'll be at the doorway that explains all this again when you leave here tonight and review it periodically. But the way that we will try to win the day is we will communicate with you in the event of an emergency. I'm not asking you just to stand back and not know what's happening. We'll communicate with you through multiple channels, but through the communications, first thing, again, the golden rule is I need you to stay calm and be patient. We will communicate to you that there is an evacuation level at the high school and that we are moving the kids. And the way we will do that will be through multiple channels. Number one, make sure that you've got onto the Burrell website and maybe save that in your favorites. Know the website so you can go to get into that. The website is set up right now with a dark page that can be flipped in a second to flash emergency information to you. It's already set up that way. Secondly, expect a call from the school, similar to how you would get a call if we have weather and we can't get to school on time or a cancellation. The school messenger system, they will notify you that there's been an evacuation level event and they will give you instructions. Now those instructions would be what they are, but your child will be going to Bon Air. That you can take to the bank right now. That's where you will get reunited with your child. Especially at this level and what I saw at Franklin Regional. I want to talk about the technology of texting your child and stuff like that. We as law enforcement officers had a very misgiven thought. We worry about communications, as more digital communications come online, it taxes the network and it shuts everything down. You kind of get gridlocked. Who here tried to make calls on September 11th on their cell phone and got the all network busy sign? Did everybody? I did. I imagine everybody did. Everybody tried to call somebody. Everybody wants to kind of lean on somebody else. So I got those calls from my house. I was living in Mount Vernon and New Kensington at the time, and I was not able to go. We were worried about that happening here, but I do not believe that would happen at this local level of event. The networks are big enough to hold that. So what I want you to do is if you start hearing reports, the first thing I want you to do is pick the phone up and text your child. And the reason is I think as parents, if we know that they're okay, then we can be patient, right? So I want you to text your child. I want you to talk to your children and tell them it's okay to pick the text up and text you. I do prefer that you text them instead of a voice call because the text is lighter on the network. And we want our cell phones to be able to work through the EMS services, through police fire services. So if you can, and if you can't, then by all means call them. But communicate with your children if they carry a cell phone. If your children do carry a cell phone and their friend doesn't, allow them to text their child. If you know your child's okay, give us the time to work. At that point, then you're going to proceed to the reunification site and assemble outside the entrance to hear instructions from the faculty on getting back with your child. And I'm going to paint the picture of what the reunification site outside that building will be like for you if we have to do that as we get into this. Okay, what I don't want you to do, please, again, do not respond to the Burrell High School if we are evacuating the Burrell High School for all the reasons I just said. And please do not call the school by phone. Number one, if we're evacuating the school because there was a gunman in the school, there will be nobody manning the phones. I can guarantee you that. Because we have gone through lockdown procedures, evacuation procedures. The faculty will be on the move and they will not be here to answer your phone calls, so you are wasting your time with phone calls. Do not come here, don't call here. Failure to comply with this, and it's a little bit hard to read with the light, but it will slow our ability to help our kids down. Okay, the pre-designated reunification sites for all Burrell schools, and if you have children in other schools, just take a minute to review it, but most importantly, take the blue pamphlet that the school district has provided, one for everybody, because it has it on there. Okay, we're at the Burrell High School, the kids are going to go to Bon Air. Houston Middle School, the kids will go to Bon Air. If the problems are at the elementary level schools, the kids will come here, okay? That doesn't mean they go right from here to there. That's all part of our emergency plan. We will do what we need to do and respond to the events as we're dealing with them. But ultimately, that is where you will get your child. If they're a Burrell High School student, you will get them at Bon Air. Okay, if you're instructed to pick up your child, this is what I need you to do. Respond directly to the pre-designated site. At this point, that would be Bon Air. And not the Burrell High School, not your child's normal building. Respond in a calm manner and follow instructions of the police and the fire that you encounter along the controlled area, again, for security reasons. Again, you will encounter police and fire controlling access to everything. If they give you instructions, just please follow the instructions. They are there to help you. I say respond in a calm manner, and this is what I mean by this. This is trying to get buy-in from you right now. We have to tell this to all new police officers. You become a police officer, so you're all new police officers right now. Imagine that. This is your first week on the job. As you can imagine, we hire a lot of young men in this field, and they love the fact that they get this black and white, very fast car with all these lights on it, and they have the authority to kick the lights on and go speeding down Leechburg Road or to whatever call they need to. And every year in this country, police officers run into people, they hit and kill pedestrians because they're driving like maniacs and they don't need to be doing that. We are all here. Just proceed in a calm, orderly manner to the school. If you get in your car and you want to get here as fast as you can, and I damn well know you want to get here as fast as you can, but you wreck and hurt yourself, then number one, I don't have any policemen or medics to come send to you because they're all here. Number two, I have to send police and medics to you, so we will send resources that are coming here and divert them to help you. So you've hurt the problem because you can't get to your kid, and you've helped to limit the amount of resources coming to help here. Does that make sense? And I tell that to the young policeman. I says, if you speed to the call that they need you to get to, and you wreck the car, now John, he's his partner, John's got to stop and he's got to go help the policeman. And the other person, now we have two problems to deal with, and they both must be dealt with. So just don't be your own worst enemy. That is my lecture on staying calm and coming to the school in a calm, orderly manner. Bring your identification with you and be patient and wait your turn to check in with the school officials. The school officials will reunite you with your children. You will come to the doors of Bon Air School and they will be locked. You will not be allowed to come in. Please do not try to come in. The school will have your kids inside the gym. They will set tables up with rosters, and we will orderly sign your children back out to you. To say how that's going to happen would be to micromanage a very stressful situation, and I'm not going to. But it will go something like this. This is how we did it at Franklin Regional. Faculty will open the doors up and either find out what parent is standing in front of them and announce to the kids, or we'll do it in reverse order, whatever seems to be working the best at the time. Just await your turn to come up, tell them who you are, tell them who your children are, who you're here to pick up, and they will bring you inside. You will sign your child out, you show your identification, and it will be done orderly that way. Nobody else will be allowed in the school, and we won't let all the parents in the school because the space is limited. You'll be asked to show your ID and sign the roster, and then what I need from you to do most then is to go home and just be happy that your child is back safe with you and they are not amongst the injured. Okay, if you hang out at the school because you want to talk to the next person or whatever, that's not going to help. That's just going to slow everything down again there. That's going to be a very busy hub of activity there. We just need you to go home. But nonetheless, what I did not like of the media at Franklin Regional, as I saw the national media trucks set up right along School Alley and Old Route 22, trying to grab any parent and child they could to take an interview from right there, right on the curtilage of the school. It doesn't help. You know, we need to keep the roads open to move kids in and out of safety. You know, that day I encountered Mrs. Boger. Her child was one of the childs that was very, very injured very badly, and I ended up taking her down to the hospital and then returning back to the school. And I saw, you know, as I was flying one way down the parkway, there were multiple Pittsburgh ambulances flying in on the other end, coming inbound, because they just needed that many people. And the response takes a little time to bring these people in from outside. So it is very fair to think if you're home or you work here locally, you will beat some of the responding agencies. So when you're in that area, you're slowing their ability down to move through the area to get to help the kids. Okay, we're stuck. Okay, if you have to come to Bon Air to get your child, parking is limited at Bon Air. I don't know if my daughter's in Bon Air, it's limited, so keep that in mind. If you have to come here, if you have children in Bon Air and Stewart, this building has a lot more parking. Bon Air's limited, so what I'm drawing your attention to is, it'll be stressful, but think of the end lot. Here's Bon Air. This is the end of the Hillcrest Plaza. You can park all through the plaza and just basically walk across the end of the building through the fields and come into the school. That is an alternative place to park if you can't get into the school. Please do not park on Leechburg Road, and for God's sake, please do not park across the street in the fire department parking lot in case we're still moving assets out of there. We don't need, emergency rescue personnel and vehicles to not be able to get out of there. So just keep that in mind. That could be an area of some overflow parking for you if you get to Bon Air and it's busy. And you will encounter, I'm sure you're going to start countering the line of cars, so just, that may be your best plan to head for right off the bat, is the lot of Hillcrest Shopping Center, the end lot. If you have to come up to the high school and the lots are full, we have a lot more parking, but we have the church parking lot, which is, here we are in the auditorium. There's the tennis court outside. We have Puckety Church right here. They have a very big lot, and most of the time during the day there's nobody there. You could park there and just walk in. How can you help? Okay, so we're going to communicate to you what the plan is. We're going to need you to respond to the reunification area. That's your second task in the way that we've described. But how can you help keep this all in perspective. Keep the emergency evacuation brochures that are going to be given to you when you leave. Please take one. They're sitting up there right now. Please take one of them with you. Review them. Review them with your kids. Talk to your kids about this. Your kids are the older kids. They can handle a little bit more information at this point than the younger kids. Let them know that you know what to do in an event and that you will be coming to help them, that you'll be coming to get them. Give them that reassurance. Keep your emergency contact information current at all times with the school district so they can get in touch with you. We need that. Keep your Edline information as well up to date in case they push information out through Edline. Again, we can plan for everything, but there will be variables that we face which may have us to cause to change a plan. And we may need to communicate and push information out to you fast. And in that way, we will use the media and we'll push it out that way. But through the messenger system, through Edline, and through the website, we can go directly to you. So keep your information current. If it's not current, then we can't get it to you. On your emergency contact, you put two other individuals on your emergency contact card. Make sure that their information is current, and make sure you share this information with them in case it's your parents, brothers or sisters, that have to come up here to get the child. Review it with them. Let them see the emergency card. Again, talk with your children and make them aware that you know what's going on and that you're going to be coming for them, and give them that reassurance. And talk with them by text if you need to, during the incident. Most importantly, again, remain calm and have the patience to allow us to help all of our children. You have to allow us the time to do our jobs. This will not be over quickly if we have to deal with something up here. Most of the times, the critical incident itself, the shooting, the stabbing, is over within minutes. But the long-term effect is that the investigation will last a long time. But that's not for you to know, or not for you to worry about. But the reunification process, let's think about that. It will last a while. So just be patient and allow us. That's what I need you to do. And it's going to take some time down there, but we have to do it methodically because we have to make sure that we account for every faculty member and student. If we don't have them accounted for on those rosters, then at some point after law enforcement has handled the critical incident and we're moving into the investigation, I then have to break guys off and task them to go find everybody. We will have to go find your kids to make sure that we're not missing them somewhere, that they're not injured. We have to have accountability. That's why we need you to sign the rosters. That's why we need you to help us. It will be a major undertaking. To give you a little bit more insight in Franklin Regional, and one thing I skipped on the presentation. The event could happen that your child could be a victim or a witness. If John and I go to an incident in the city, we may deal with a half a dozen witnesses to a criminal incident or an act that we need to interview. In Franklin Regional, we had 73 or 78, I don't remember the exact number. It was north of 70 witnesses to the act, which through the criminal investigation, they all have to be interviewed. At that point, the FBI helped with that. They are on our plan. I have the special agent in charge of Pittsburgh cell phone in my hip pocket right now. And after I saw him assist with Franklin Regional, they didn't come in and take the investigation over. The county handled the investigation. But their agents were great to get done because we had 70 plus kids to interview. If your kid is a witness and you come to the school to be reunified with your kid and they're a witness, we'll tell you that, hey, they're a witness, and that we'll bring you in, we'll put you in another room, we'll keep you informed of what's going on, but we will need a little bit more time with that person until they are interviewed by investigators and then allowed to go home with you. In Franklin, we started with one room, then we had parents in 2 rooms, and then we had parents in 3 rooms. But the one thing I will say to the parents' credit out in Franklin is I never saw one parent get to the point where they lost their cool, their temper, and their patience. And I didn't see that out of police officers. Everybody's dealt with a jerk policeman. I'm not here to say that we don't exist, because we do. Everybody has dealt with them, or everybody's seen it. I didn't see any police officers out there giving any of the public a rough time because they didn't feel that they were following instructions fast enough. Everybody out there, a lot of policemen are family men as well, and it was very hard on us as well, but everybody had that feeling of in it together, and that's what I need from you. And that's why I'm here on my own time talking to you tonight. I need for you to understand, and I need you to have this information so in the event we have to deal with this, we can deal with it and get it handled and get our kids home. And again, I say our kids because your kids' safety is my responsibility. But Abigail White's will be, if it's her school, I won't be going to Abigail. I'll be taking care of all of our kids. So at any rate, if there's any questions on the plan, if I wasn't clear on anything, myself and John will be here. Feel free to stop in with us. The contact information up there for Superintendent Wagner and for myself. If you don't want to wait around or you can't get us now, take my phone number down, take Shannon's phone number down, email us, call us, whatever you need to do. But we'll be here. You can stop in and see me anytime. You can call me anytime. I'm here. So.